So just in Skelmersdale at the moment, so I'm off to meet a lady called Kayla. This is going to be a special one today. This is the first time she's ever publicly spoken out. Personally, I find this lady very inspiring. Just waiting for Rose to turn up now, and we'll crack on for episode 2 of Carpool Recovery. This woman's trying through so much adversity. It's unreal. She's always got a smile on her face. She's always fighting. She's a true champion. I'm sure you'll get something from today's Carpool Recovery. So let's crack on. Let's do it. So we're just with Kayla at the moment. So yeah. Kayla's kindly agreed to share her recovery and a bit of her journey and stuff. Yeah. How are you feeling today about doing this? Because the first time you've spoke out publicly, innit?
I was nervous until you picked me up, because you make me feel at ease. I feel a lot better.
So how are you doing then?
I'm still up and down. Doing a lot better now from when I first met you. I was thinking about it.
So what was you like in the beginning then? What was life like? What was the day like?
When I first met you,
yeah,
in October, I was a nervous wreck. I was crying. I couldn't go out the door. It was like when I look back, it was like I was a completely different person.
So can you recognise that progress in yourself now?
Yeah, you can't while you're going through it. It's only when you look from October to now, I think, fuck, was that me? Was that me? Walking into that pulse and just, I don't know, I feel like it was fate. I had to meet yous. And I remember yous doing a photo thing outside for the champion. And I remember crying my eyes out. I think it was the head of the mental health team was there.
It was Phil.
Yeah.
It was Phil Winard, the commissioner.
Yeah. And I was crying my eyes out, and he was like, I don't think he knew what to say. He was like, you okay? I was like, look at them getting the picture took. Why can't I be like that? And to now, not even just, I don't even think it's about speaking out publicly. It's about speaking in general. Because I know people who've been through it because they're close, like sexual abuse, because they're close to me, it doesn't get spoken about. They're not ready. I'm not ready to listen. So
you're talking about like friends and family members?
Yeah, so it's like still a taboo thing, whereas I'm ready to speak out, and no one else understands in your family or friends unless you've been through it. So I can speak a million words and people can sympathise, people can, you know, friends can say to me, you've been through a lot, or you know, you've done well, you're strong. But until you've been there and someone else can relate to it, it means nothing. I don't know whether that makes sense. Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I find you really inspiring.
I don't feel, see, that's how I feel about yous. It's like, I remember sat at that table, now I feel a dickhead. I was like dead star. I was like, I'm starstruck, crying my eyes out. And because I followed the page for that long, and I was envious of it. I was envious of what you had because I wanted it.
Recovery?
Yeah.
But do you know something? You know, the first time we met Kayla, didn't we? We both said she's going to fucking smash it, huh?
Absolutely.
Honestly.
Both of us.
Well, you've got to be ready. You've got to be ready. I've got, you know...
How did you get ready? You know, for somebody, if you think about somebody who might be watching, who don't speak out, or, you know, don't speak to people at home. Go on.
One thing that sticks in my head, it's not my shit to carry. It's not my shit to carry, and I've heard you say it loads, and I never thought that. I always thought me past was a part of me. People judge you, people, like, everything. It was like me past defined me, and it doesn't. No. You know, I've still got a future.
So how have you made that transition then?
By realising the feelings I have, the thoughts I have is normal, by listening to people who've been through it. You know, when you sit and everyone knows, like, I'm a fucking weirdo. And that's how I thought of it. I thought in my head, I'm a weirdo. It's been 30 odd years. You know, I'm still dwelling on it. This isn't normal. That's how I felt.
Is that stuff you've come up with, or stuff that people have told you? Or what
no,
you've assumed?
It's just what I've assumed, and just like my mental health. I've just sat and thought, why can't I just get over it? Why can't, you know, it happened. He went to prison. everything like that. I was only a kid. And it's like people say you lose your childhood. I don't think I lost my childhood. I think I lost my adulthood.
Right, okay.
That's really good way of putting
Because
it
my
across.
childhood, when you're going through it, you don't know any different. It doesn't hurt, you know, and it's not what happens that it's the emotions that come with it. And when you're a kid, you don't have all them emotions. It's when you're an adult and you've got your own kids. And when my kids were little, you had that much to go on with, you know, I had 5 kids and...
So you're distracted and you're really
yeah,
busy.
you're distracted. Like my youngest's 15 now, and she doesn't need you as much. So the last few years, it's been like you'd have time to sit and think, and you think, well, is this normal how you feel? Whether it's guilt, whether it's you look at everyone around you and you don't trust them. You think someone looks at one of your kids funny and you think, well, you know, what's going on? It affected how I brought my kids up, because I was harsh with my older 2 when they were younger. I was hot, you know, they weren't allowed to out my sight sort of thing. I was so scared. And
I think that's a natural reaction to what you've been through.
And I think as well, what you've just said about not trusting other people around your kids, that's normal. Especially, I think, when the sexual abuse as a child has been perpetrated by a family member.
yeah,
Because people have this perception, you know, that people that harm children are, it's like stranger danger. Nobody wants to openly talk about that danger is in your home.
Yeah, yeah.
It's in your family.
It's like I didn't see them as paedophiles, or I didn't see them as like a grooming type of thing, because I always thought in my head grooming and paedophiles were out there, not in here. And there's probably more in here than there is out there.
I think it's over 90. It's coming up to 90%.
Just
innit?
over 90% of childhood sexual abuse happens within the home or with a close family member.
Yeah,
That's a massive
Yeah.
statistic.
And this is the stuff that people don't talk about. So, like you've just rightly just said there, all these people banging on about grooming gangs and all this. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, it goes on. We're not disputing that, but let's start looking a bit closer to
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Because we're doing people a disservice in a sense. This is why we always say we need personal safety and body safety talked about in the house at the kitchen table, like the Green Cross Code, because that's where this shit is majority of the time going down.
Well, I found I am open with my kids. More so the youngest one. I think that's the internet and everything else, you know. I'm quite open with that. And sometimes I try and make, so she doesn't feel uncomfortable, I try and make a joke out of it. So she feels she can come to me over anything. Because, I don't know, that's the biggest part of going through it, especially when it's in a family. When you do tell someone, or when it does come out, it doesn't destroy you, it destroys everything within the family. It destroys even people it didn't happen to. It destroys their world as well, because obviously it's someone they love. And I've got to flip it the other side. When it's someone you love that's done it and it hasn't happened to you, how can you contemplate that it's real? You know, I could never imagine my husband doing something like that, but because I've been through, I'm in a different mindset. So if someone's said something to me, I'll react different to what my family did.
Can I just ask you a question? So, how have you made it through all those years? So,
Blocking it out.
what things have you used to cope?
Self-harm, drugs, drink, men, anything. And I think it's you trying to destroy what's in there. It's only now I realise.
So what's in there? What you're trying to destroy?
All the mixed emotions that I don't even know what they are.
You're trying to fix your feelings?
Anger, embarrassment. I don't even mean anger what happened. I mean anger as in the whole of society, the whole of family.
I get that.
I don't know how I'm explaining it right.
Yeah.
But it's a mixture of every feeling that you can ever have. Whether you be happy and you think, I don't deserve to be happy. You know, I deserved what happened to me. And look what I done, I got that person, not I got that person put in prison, but like that person went to jail, and
As a result of you
as a
reporting it and
result of,
speaking out.
yeah, of things happening within the family. So it destroyed everyone around them, and you think it's left there in the 80s when it all come out, but it's not, because then it affects us as a family, you know. Not my family don't speak much, you know, quite distant, which is sad really, because if it hadn't have happened, we'd probably be all being dead close. None of all our kids know each other, so it's a big massive wide thing.
It does. I come from a big family, brothers and sisters, you know, and it's completely fractured us.
Yeah,
But I also think that's a bit of the abuser divide and conquer.
yeah,
Because if the abuser causes a division, they've got your silence for that little bit
Yeah.
longer, haven't they? Because you haven't got the sort of relationship with your siblings that you can confide in them, because you've been pitted against each other, or
yeah, definitely, yeah,
so I get that.
yeah.
Totally get that.
It's like I said, recently I've been thinking, like, I always thought it was my fault. I always thought, you know, the guilt and shame and embarrassment of it all, I always put that on me. And this is where all the self-harm and drugs, drink, bloody, I've been to jail, you know, that's where all that comes
That's
from.
how
The
much it's impacted your life.
yeah, it's all like self-destroying, isn't it? Because people you love can do something like that, and it's confusing in your brain. Well, it confused me in my brain, because how can someone do something like that if they love you? And more so when you become a parent, because when you become a parent, you think, I could never harm my kid like that, and I could never stand back and let someone else harm one of my kids like that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mean watch on while it happens, but like, my mum, she left and she brought it all out. She come back, she brought it all out, and then it's like, she didn't even support me. She walked away again. So
How did that feel?
that's what I find strange, and I think that's a part of the impact of blaming myself. Because if she couldn't support me and stand by me, and not even stand by me, I was a kid. I was like 9, 10, 11, 12, that age, and she didn't come for me and put her arms around me and give me the love I needed, then no one was going to. So I think that's...
So then you're just left with yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, well, but then I find when you... Because of all these shit emotions you have, you move on to the shit partner. You attract these dickheads. And I don't just mean dickhead men. It can be friends. It can be anyone.
Because you're vulnerable.
Yeah, and they seem to take the piss. And then, you know, I ended up in a domestic violence relationship, still married. I don't know why I done that, like. But, you know, because I didn't know any different. I was 14 when I met him. Like, married him when I was 18. We had kids and everything like that. But I still allowed it. And then, even when he left, I still let myself be used in more, like, I don't even mean sexual, I mean used in any way, because I just wanted to be loved.
Do you know something? I was listening to something the other day, and it was talking, I can't remember what it was now, but it stuck in my head. It was talking about programming, and it was saying that from an early age we've been programmed to put up with this stuff. Do you know what I mean? We've been seriously manipulated. So that program that was instilled into us in a young age, it still can be running up until this day. And it's about sort of what I see you doing. It's like deprogramming yourself and becoming that best version of yourself, or the version of yourself that you should have been.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
think,
what
I think this
that's
is
what we see. That's what we see with you.
I think this is where it comes in with, like, with yous. I mean, for the last, you know, I met Chris 16 years ago. I met Chris 16 years ago, and it hasn't all been plain sailing. He's had to put up with some shit off me, you know. He's been, if it was anyone else that would walk by now, the shit he's had to put up with because of my mental health, you know, the intimacy between us, it affects. You think that once there's been a jail or once there's been like a conviction in any way, that it ends there. That's what it should be. That's
Closure.
what mentally, yeah, but it's not, because years later, even when I thought, because as I said before, the kids, everything else just takes over your life. You not forget about it, but it's just locked away. And then like when I met him, you're in a new relationship, so you don't have time to think. And then when things were settled, I'd say about 9 years ago, I started slowly going downhill. And it was like, not that.
What happened at that point for you to...
I think it's because my life was stable, and I think it was because he supported me through everything. Like, I had control of me. It sounds silly, but if he put his arm around me and I weren't in the mood, I'd say, like, oh no, and he'd take no's, and my brain was like, wow, wow, I can say no here. And I don't know, it was like, he understood to the point, and I suppose that's normal.
But that messes with your head, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what it has done.
I've heard you say stuff like that.
Yeah.
It is, when he'd say no when I'd say no, or like it just, things don't happen, or just gives a hug, or just normal things, I was like, this is strange. It's strange to be normal. And that's how I know I'm not a full-on weirdo like I thought I was. Because I've got these normal feelings. I've got these normal emotions. It's just, sometimes I find it hard to deal with them because I've never dealt with them.
Can we talk a bit about the mental health team?
Yeah.
And the interventions, what you've had with them over the years? It's been a few years, hasn't it?
Well, I've been under them on and off for years. Bloody other things I've done to myself. Now I look back, I think, that close to being a full-on weirdo. Like, the amount of overdoses I took, I threw myself out of a window. And I don't know why I do it. I don't think I'm suicidal as in I want to kill myself. I think it's because you can have suicidal thoughts without being suicidal, and I think that's what it is with me. I think you just want everything to stop. So under the mental health team about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, went into crisis, phoned the crisis team, and I had to go to ATS.
What's ATS?
It's acute therapy service in
Right,
Preston.
okay.
I had to go every day for 6 days. Chris had to take me instead of me getting admitted. And I didn't think I was that bad, because when you're going through it, you don't sit there and go, I need the crisis team. It was other people around me that said, you need the crisis team. I don't know whether they all wanted a break, but they were trying to get me in hospital. So it was under them, and it helped for a week or two. Because when you're getting this therapy thrown into you, and like how to use your emotions and things like that, it's too much to take in 6 days.
This is why, for me and for Rose, peer support's so important. And
Definitely.
having open-ended groups is so important, because what do you do after the therapy? Because people have all different kinds of therapy and stuff.
Well, I've never had any. They've said I need... Psychiatrist said to me when I first went, do you self-harm? I said, yeah. And he said, how old are you? 42. He says, oh, you'll grow out of it. I don't think I'm going to grow much more, so I don't know how I'm going to grow out of it. Well, I hope I don't grow any more anyway. And then he said I need trauma therapy.
Right.
So...
How long ago was that?
2.5 years ago.
And you're still waiting?
Yeah, well, you have to fill the form in, and there's a 2-year waiting list. But...
And this is my point exactly. So if we
they've lost my form.
If we look, and they've lost your form as well.
Oh my word.
So if we look at your past and your behaviours and how you was kind of acting out and displaying stuff, like throwing yourself out of a window, like overdosing, taking drugs, drinking, all that kind of stuff, then you put somebody like yourself on a 2-year plus waiting list. What do they think is going to happen in that 2 years? When you fill that form in, that person must be sat there thinking, this person ain't going to make it. Do you know what I mean?
To be honest with you, I don't know whether people make excuses for the mental health team or not. I don't know whether it's underfunding. I don't know whether it's that they've got that much workload on. But no, she didn't. I remember sitting there filling the form in, and the tears were streaming down my face. you can't, I couldn't have trauma therapy for my childhood. That's what they were saying. The trauma therapy I had to have was for my son dying. And then they could go start it for my childhood trauma. So it was like I had to bring all up about losing my son in order to get my childhood sorted. So it was like dealing with two traumas at the same time. So I remember her coming out, and it was like she wasn't even taking no notes of me. She was writing things down, obviously. And I remember answering the phone. Oh, I've just got to answer this. My son's got no one to pick him up. Well, I'm sat there like having a mental breakdown. She didn't have no one to pick her son up.
I think the 2 points you made, extremely underfunded.
Yeah.
I think as well in some areas of mental health, particularly with psychiatrists, because a psychiatrist really just wants to prescribe you medication and get you out the room. I think they really don't comprehend the true impact of childhood trauma.
No.
I really don't think they get it.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't even think he'd read me notes or anything like that, because, like, he said to me to go and contact the person who abused me, and I said, I don't think it's good. Like, obviously you think of all these
so
things.
what was the reasoning behind that? What was that going to solve?
He thinks facing your trauma full on could do you good.
It's dangerous, mate.
But it was like, I don't think he'd read me notes and things, because when I mentioned it, at first he was like, yeah, and then he said, well, maybe you should face him and ask questions, because I think what he's saying is I'm never going to get answers in my head.
So why ask?
But I'm never going to get answers face to face, because they're never going to be fucking honest.
There is, and there isn't no answer that can justify those actions.
And I was just going to say, I don't think they've got an answer for what they do.
No.
Because the way our mental, I think that's how, the way
it's not the answer you're going to want to hear.
No, the way we're wired because of what's happened to us, I think that's how they're wired.
So let's re-traumatise you some more by going meeting the perpetrator and not getting the answers.
It just doesn't make sense.
Not getting the answers that...
Well, I didn't want tablets. I don't want tablets. All they say is I've got complex post-traumatic stress, because he said, I didn't know the difference. I haven't got a clue the difference with anything. He said I've got emotionally unstable personality disorder.
Here we go.
Due to childhood trauma. And I've got complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, I didn't know there was a difference between post-traumatic stress and complex.
Yeah.
And he was explaining to me that it's because you've got repeated trauma through your childhood. It's classed as complex. So I was like...
No shit, Sherlock.
So I come home and I research it all.
Yeah.
That I do a lot of that. And it had me thinking I was worse than what it really was. I was getting what he was saying to me is, that's it, there's nothing we can do for you. All this trauma, you need trauma therapy. I still haven't fucking put me forward for it.
But do you know what you just said? He diagnosed you with CPTSD plus this emotional unregulator.
Yeah.
It's part and parcel. They're so good at giving out labels. Borderline personality disorder, dissociative identity disorder, depression, anxiety. They are all part and parcel of having complex PTSD.
Well, he said I am not actually depressed. I didn't come out my room I come out my room, obviously, to get a bath, to get it to, like, make something to eat. I lived in my bedroom. I still sort of do. I prefer, that's my safe place. Yeah. But 7 months ago, you wouldn't have got me in a car up at the Beacon with yous. And it's not down to... I haven't seen anyone from the mental health team since December.
Down to you. You've took responsibility
since
for your
December. 12th of December. No, mine. It was before then. They were meant to come out on the 12th of December and didn't turn up. Then in January, I got a phone call off her, and I said to her, I can't cope. I said, I'm not coping. And it's not a cry for help, because I'm not saying to people, I can't cope. It's not a cry for help. Sometimes I genuinely feel, I can't cope. And I said to her, I look at my tablets on my side all the time. I don't bleed and take them or nothing. Daily. I've stopped taking them. But I look at them and I think it'd be so easy for my family, because even though people say they need you, sometimes you're a burden to them. You know, that for them to see me every day in my bedroom, pulling my hair out, pulling my eyebrows out, or anything else, that can't be nice for my kids to see. So sometimes I think to myself, be easier if I weren't here, yet they'd be upset for a little bit.
So what
No,
stops
they'd be
you?
upset for a long time.
So what stops you?
But they'd get over it.
No, they wouldn't.
My grandkids, there's always something. This is, as I say, I research a lot of things. This is how I know I'm not actually suicidal, because there's always, Christmas is coming up. I wouldn't do it near Christmas because I wouldn't let them have that trigger every year. Then my daughter had a baby. I wouldn't do
So
it
they do
because
need you.
I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't want her to think my mum never got to meet the baby. So there's always something through the year.
So they
I
do
can't do it
need
near
you.
Easter. Yeah.
And they would miss you.
But you know what they call this stuff? Recovery capital.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
It's all the stuff what you build up to.
see,
to
that's
live
how I know
for.
I must be ready to be in recovery, because a couple of years ago I would have just took the tablets. I wouldn't have thought about it. I wouldn't have thought about the kids. I wouldn't have thought that they need me, I need them, anything like that. I would have just took them and dealt with the consequence. It got that bad at one time. I'd take a full packet of codeine and I'd go to Chris, I feel awful. He'd go, how many tablets did you take? That's how regular it was getting. And you know, if I sit there sometimes and think, they don't give a shit. You know, obviously that's me mental health. But then you've got to flip it, and how would I feel if it was them? If it was one of them, I would be in bits. I would look at them and think, aren't they happy with me? You know, why can't they put the past in the past? And that's how I think. But they don't see it like that. Did you support me? And coming to your group, I think it really did save me. I honestly do.
Save yourself, mate.
But with
You came
no.
to the group. You came to the group.
But what I mean is, if this group wasn't in Skem, I'd have been fucked. I don't know what I'd have done. I honestly don't, because I'd have just sat in my room, withered away, pulling my hair out, and I'd have still been the same. It's because you're speaking to different people from all walks of life, who've all been through something similar, and they all feel not the same, but they can all relate to your
It's the
feelings.
connection.
Yeah, and you know, I said it to one of the girls yesterday. I was messaging her and I said, I feel like I've got a bond with all yous stronger than I have with some friends I've had for years. And it's something that no one can take away. I don't know whether that's right.
Yeah.
If that's how you feel, mate, yeah.
If it's all right with you, do you remember the chat we had on Messenger when you got a friend request?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
So, this is the difference I see.
Go on.
Kayla gets a friend request from her abuser,
Yeah.
right? So, instead of going into complete meltdown mode, because I've been there,
Yeah.
I've been there with my own abuser, gone into complete fear, shutdown and panic. So it's after a peer support group. It's on peer support group day. I get a message from Kayla. Just had a friend request. So we talk through it, don't we?
Yeah.
Kayla comes up with the solution, not me. I make suggestions, but Kayla comes up with the solution. Lo and behold, lost its power. That's the power of peer support.
Yeah.
And peer connection, I think.
Because before I was going to peer group, I'd have had a meltdown, not just for that night, for a week. It had played on my mind. Because it's not the friend request, because it sounds silly, but they still have a hold over you. There's still, because seeing his face, I was like, maybe it was shock, I don't know. Whereas a few years ago, that had broke me down.
So at that time, you was being advised by a psychiatrist to go and meet your abuser
Yeah.
and look at the damage that potentially could have done.
Yeah.
Just with seeing a photo, not just.
No,
but
yeah.
Seeing a photo and flipping, receiving a friend's request. So imagine face to face. This is why we bang on about flipping people being trauma informed, professionals being properly trauma informed, because there's no way on this God's green earth, yeah, that you would suggest that to somebody and put them in serious fucking danger, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Dangerous
You
as
just
fuck.
wouldn't do it. You just would not do it. Well, I certainly wouldn't.
But it's like I mentioned to one of the mental health team about coming to these groups. This is months, I say, in October. And I think that's why I haven't seen them as much. I think yous have took their job of looking after me, sort of thing. And I remember her saying to me, I don't think that'll be good for you, you know. I think what she means is, in some cases, like, I can understand people taking on too much of other people's problems, but you don't. It's not like that with these groups. See, I can see it in some groups. You help someone and you've got your own feelings, your own problems, whatever else, and you take on everyone else's. But it's not like that, because if you had a problem and like you spoke to me about it, then I can offload to you. That's how it is.
that's
There's
how
that
it
many.
is.
Was that a fart or your phone?
It was
Good
a
fart, that,
full-
mate.
If you're back soon, knock on the guy. Yeah, so I think that's what it is. As quick as you take on someone's, you can offload on some. There's that many of us.
Mutual aid.
Yeah. Whereas when it's one-to-one, like with a mental health person or whoever, you've got an hour a week, an hour a month, an hour every 6 months. When you've been through years of trauma, how the fuck can you offload that in such a short space of time?
You can't. It's nigh on impossible. You just can't. But you know, in fairness to some mental health teams, some are getting it.
Yeah, definitely.
They are recognising it. They are as frustrated as we
Yeah.
are, because they haven't got the resources. They know what the waiting lists are like. And while we say to people, what we stress, we are not therapy.
Not
Yeah.
crisis service.
We're not a crisis service. But what we're finding, what you've just said about mental and all that, we are now getting umpteen emails from massive organisations
For you to,
asking us if they can refer their own clients to us.
yeah.
So what that does, in effect, it changes the landscape, because say you've got a mental health team that refer 3 clients to us, that's 3 clients off their books. Well, that
Yeah.
looks like they've had 3 results. But
Yeah,
they
yeah.
haven't. What they've done, they've moved
They've just
their issue
offloaded it.
into
Yeah.
somebody else, whereas they've got a massive budget for it and we don't have a budget,
Yeah.
but we still do it.
But it's like it's all being split now, hasn't it, between social workers and mental health nurses. And she was explaining to me, she's not actually a mental health nurse. I only found out a few months ago. I thought she was a nurse. She's not. She's the social worker side of it. And they were trying to take her off me. This is the second person I've had. And it's like you do have trust issues of who you speak to. I'm quite open. I'm quite an open person anyway, but I'm different since I've been coming to use. Whereas with them, I'd spill my heart out. I'd tell them everything about how I feel. I would genuinely feel deep down about, like, not even the good feelings you'd have. Like I said, you don't trust anyone around you. You know, I'd never said anything like that to anyone before until I told them. And they were trying to take it off me. And because I needed a nurse, not a social worker. I don't care who you've got, just someone come and help me.
And somebody you can trust. And when you've got a
Yeah.
relationship like that with somebody, what you've just described, so you trusted her enough to tell her the truth,
Yeah.
and then they want to take her away.
And then I got someone else. But there was a girl, I went to a life skills group because they said I couldn't go forward for any more trauma therapy until I've had CB.
See?
Yeah, I always say CBD, don't I? They wanted me to have CBT, but there was none available. So I went to the life skills group, and it just tells you what you already know, isn't it? All these, like, emotions, what you'd have out of...
You've got amazing life skills.
But I had to go to this, so I went to that, and, you know, some of the girls that were there, their dad, their mental health person, like, changed 6 times and things like that. And it's no wonder people give up. It's no wonder, you know, What's the point in going to all these groups? What's the point in trusting one of these people if you don't know next week that you're going to get someone else, and you have to start right back at the beginning again?
So that leads us on nicely now to kind of like sort of where you're at now from everything what you're saying.
Today is a good day.
You've took responsibility for your recovery. So if you could send one message out to somebody who might be watching this, what message would that be?
Talk. Find someone, anyone who you can genuinely trust. More so a group like this. A big thing that's helped me lately is an audiobook from the Speakmans.
All right, okay.
Fab. Don't know whether have you seen the Speakmans on this morning? Well, I've got their audiobook, and it goes from depression, phobias, post-traumatic stress, and for 2 weeks I was on top of the world. And I think, see, I've had mental health problems for that long that when I am good, I try and drag it out and I overdo it. And then when I feel down or when I have a bad day, I think I give up. And that's what I need to do. But I've been sitting listening to it.
You've not given up, have you?
No, and I've been sitting listening to them, and because it's audio, it feels like you're getting therapy.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing as well. And that, between that and the peer group, that has done me brilliant. Just talk. Anyone who's... It's hard as well, because when it's over abuse, see, I'm lucky because there was a court case for mine. When there hasn't been, or when they don't press charges or something like that, it's harder because...
I'm sorry, but I'll interrupt you there, right? Because you've just tried to measure your pain and say somebody like me's pain who didn't get to court, right? Saying that it must be harder for me.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Because my pain is my pain, and your pain is your pain, and it's as legitimate as mine.
Well, see, it's good that you can say that, because that gives people the thing to speak out, because this is what people are scared of. People are scared to speak out because CPS won't do nothing. You get to court and it's like, you know, you're putting your life in someone else's hands, and if they don't know, CPS, it's probably statistics, isn't it? That's probably what it is.
I think it's better than that. I think they go hip dip dog shit. No, not you today.
Yeah, but you know, I've experienced this as well, and they give you so much hope as well.
Yeah.
They give you so much hope that it's going to go somewhere, and then at the last minute it's like, oh no, there ain't enough evidence. Well, why last week did you tell me there fucking was? So I think that's what needs addressing. People who haven't spoken out need to speak out.
Let's end on that
Yeah,
note.
I think that's really good.
We thank you for sharing your recovery with everybody.
Yep.
And we look forward to seeing you blossom.
We are
in the
seeing
future.
you blossom, lady.
Yep.
I feel it.
It's like, it's quite like Twilighty, because from the woman that I met in October that could hardly speak.
I never ever understood where you come from when you say the invisible child. That was the invisible child in October.
Absolutely. Absolutely smashed to bits and broken. And then I see this today. I see a confident woman who is blossoming and who will, no doubt, in my mind at all, inspire other people.
Because I wanna live. I wanna like enjoy life. I wanna enjoy my kids. But I also want to be where like yous are, and I want to inspire people, because yous are.
That's what you're doing right now.
You already do.
So that's what I'm aiming for. I'm not saying it's worth going through what you went through, but you've been through it. You've been through it. There's nothing you can do about it. So you might as well make use of it.
So Kayla is living testament to we do recover.
Yes, we do.
Thank you.